Welcome to the Deadly Addiction channel. Today, let's talk about Train to Busan. I really gotta give credit to this movie. When you're not in a zombie mood, it's kind of a refreshing taste on it, but it is different. I put things into categories in these type of movies like the original Dawn of the Dead and Night of the Living Dead, slow moving zombies. They kind of get sped up in certain aspects when you're talking about the zombies, and they try to balance it, let's say, somewhat like Walking Dead, where fresher zombies would be faster and more accurate, and older zombies would be more easy to herd, and But then there came rage zombies like 28 Days Later, another good movie. And my brain could kind of understand it a little better in that when you watch the remake of Dawn of the Dead by Zack Snyder, there are some fast moving zombies in there. And in my brain, I kind of attribute it to fresh, recently killed, died corpses can reanimate and still have some speed and well, the original Night of the Living Dead started going into the zombies getting their faculties back, getting some cognitive functions working and trying to be, I guess, more normal. But rage viruses and stuff are a little different. World War Z. But I think Train to Busan does it right. And when you have a great script, great actors, great scenery, setups, it makes it even better. Which is why a movie like World War Z, there's Brad Pitt, just you watch it once and it's over and you just don't care. As bad as that might seem, it doesn't have a connection to me. It doesn't resonate with me. It doesn't give me the thrills, excitements, the terrors that and the investment you want in your, hero or protagonist and the family, blah, 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 blah. Train to Busan is a simple movie, and I gotta add, it's one I watch with subtitles, and it's very rare, I'll admit. I do understand and respect it. The two movies that come to mind right now that I love, Godzilla -1 and Wreck. REC, whatever the fuck you're gonna call it. One of the best found footage movies, in my opinion, regardless of it being a horror movie. And I think that the subtitles just give me a little bit more to have to do when I'm watching a video. Maybe it has to do with doing podcasts, maybe. I don't know, but in the long run, it can, for me, sometimes hamper the experience to a degree, sometimes maybe a little bit more than less. And I think it has to do with how good the fucking movie is, let's just be honest. But Train to Busan, Godzilla -1, Wreck, they captivate you, they pull you in. And this movie, man, I'm gonna butcher the fucking wording on some of this stuff, but all right, it's directed by Young Sang-ho. Now, I'm gonna tell you who it's written by, but it's not a slur. And it's just, I don't know. It's written by Park Ju-suk. I mean, what can you say about that? And it's starring Goin Yu, Jung Yu Mai, Mia Dong Seok, and the star of the movie, this little kid, Kim Soo-an. And wow, what a performance. What a way to wrap a plot around a great core concept. One that's been done so much. I mean, people love zombie movies. Let's even call them rage zombie movies or, post-apocalyptic type stuff and how the world would end. What is it going to tell you about, social commentary or, and you can get into it. But if you have a great group of actors, great script. Look at Godzilla -1. Look how much acclaim that movie gets. And you don't really see Godzilla that much. And a lot of movies that you don't see Godzilla that much. It's silly old Godzilla themes and stuff, but Train to Busan takes a, let's call it a rage virus, zombie apocalypse, to a higher level than most even try. And I get some of the comedic attempts, or like George Romero's eventual goal in his movies, which I love those movies. Even the bad ones, I get a kick out of. I like to see where he was going. This is an amazing setup, in my opinion. It's something I wanted to do. I think I'm going to be putting out As Above, So Below before this. These are movies that I really couldn't get to with time permitting, and, wanting to do things in October for, the Halloween thing. But I got to go back to some of these movies and give them credit if I'm doing these podcasts. Train to Busan is one of my favorites. It quickly rose up there as soon as I saw it. Even in the middle of being tired of certain tropes and genres. I mean, there's a period of time I would never even watch a vampire movie, or, I don't want to watch a mafia movie. Just certain feelings that you get and the mindset you're in. But Train to Busan, you got a core group of people that starts with a family, in a sense. And I say in a sense because it's a father, kind of overlooking his daughter and his divorce from his wife, or separated, not sure. The daughter misses the mother, wants to go see the mother, and the father fucks up on her play and gives her the same birthday gift or whatever that he gave her. She was like 2 Wii's now or something. So you can, subtleties and hitting you over the head, but done so well that the father's really trying, but he's not really succeeding. The relationship with his daughter is strained, as they say, and he's got a little girl he's got to take care of, and the wife is in Busan. So for his fuck ups, he promises the daughter who wants to go see the mom that he'll take her to Busan. And that's the start of the movie. Father taking his daughter to see the mother, and I guess I'm in America, like another state. Let's say, I'm not sure about geography, if it's in another fucking whatever, but you're taking a train there. All right, maybe you have to get off and take another train, whatever, but it's the heart of the story. It's this connection between the father and the daughter, and then the shit hits the fan, literally, as simple as a animal to transfer to a person, saliva, this, that. Now, in a movie like 28 Days Later, there's a statement from one of the protagonists, the female protagonist, and she says something to the character like, you got 10 to 20 seconds to kill them before they turn, if they're infected. And it's the same type of feel here, meaning these people, you get bit and you get turned, it's going to be pretty quick. I think there are other concepts around, like blood type maybe, and maybe I'm thinking of World War Z, where people are just immune, or maybe not to the disease, but to the people who are hunting them. Like, there are little, variations on it, but basically you're bit, you don't got much time at all. And I guess if you're, mauled, it's going to be even quicker. But if you're just like bit, whatever. Anyway, it's a fast acting rage-like virus. And the setting is a train. I mean, I don't know how long this podcast is going to be, but it's probably not going to be very long. It is centered on this train. And the things they do, it's not even super groundbreaking, or they should win awards if they didn't, for like the stunts and the choreography and how they set everything up. There's a couple little twists on things, which is done brilliantly, in my opinion. And again, if it comes together with a cast that you care for, actors and performances that are really captivating you and getting you sucked in while reading subtitles, you almost can't praise this movie enough. And it's not a perfect fucking movie. you know, but it's as close as you're gonna come, in my opinion, when you got a zombie genre, rage virus genre. I mean, one of the things you love about a movie like 28 Days Later is the connection, the relationship, the character growth of the, you know, the people you're watching go through the movie. And that's what I think it lacks in a movie like World War Z and some of the later Night of the Living Dead continuations. But this movie just says, look, you've got this relationship with his father and daughter. It's on a rocky terms, and the kid's like what, 9 years old, 8 years old, and it hits you in the heart. You start meeting characters on the train. Obviously, on a train, it's like a fucking sports team, baseball team, everyday people, I guess, you know, all walks of life. And of course, there's a scumbag on the train, you know, some middle-aged asshole who just gets people fucking killed. And there's not much to give away in that plot, like spoilers type thing, but it gets fucking gruesome and it gets frantic. It really hits you where it's supposed to, when it's supposed to. Very rare. I got a lot of movies that I stick in my head that there are long stretches. Now, I'll be honest, there are little biases I have here and there, you know, whatever they might be. I'm not going to take, 3 weeks of meditating to find out exactly each one, but I do try to come into movies with a mindset, understanding, reflect, you know, introspective. I do my little methods, and you watch a movie like this and it does what it's supposed to do. It's going to make you happy or sad, afraid, scared, shocked. And then, like I said, there aren't many new twists or huge breakthroughs, but the little things they add that add to the movie, and other movies seem like drawn out time where you got to give exposition, you got to get the characters built up. This movie, it's a rare find when it all comes together almost naturally, and it doesn't need much. You know, I'm going to say, maybe it doesn't matter, but I'm going to say a stupid movie, First Blood with Rambo. I think Sylvester Stallone went in and cut like all his dialogue out. I love Rambo, the first one, First Blood, and I enjoy most of them in the general sense, but there's that thing where you don't need so much exposition. You don't need too many characters talking. But again, this is different. I know I brought that up, but there's a way actors can convey what they're in. And okay, I'm maybe a little spoiler, but there's a period where you want to be quiet, right? And you don't want to let people know you're there. And they do a twist on darkness and a train going through a tunnel, and there are just moments where in other movies you need lots of time to develop, and this movie is just from beginning to end superb on like almost every level. I think it's what is it? I'll actually look. It's 116 minutes long. It's not a terribly long movie, but it hits you so much. And again, this little girl actress, she's not even, you know, centered in it much, but when she is, it works. Like Wreck. They have a little girl in Wreck who's like potentially infected. That's how you use a child actor in a movie like this. This is how you do it. You don't make her, you know, give her plot armor and fucking saving the day and accidentally, you know, doing things. No, you get a terrified child, a terrified father trying to protect. They're on a train. Can you imagine? I live in Brooklyn, New York, so we have, I could walk to a train in like 8 minutes, 5 minutes, underground, above, rails. And, you know, you've been on the trains a lot, or even if you're on like the other LIR, the Long Island Railroad type thing, you're in a tube and you're fucking trotting along down on the tracks, and where the fuck are you going to go? What can you do? It's not like, you know, you could run into someone's house. Here you've got train cars. And you got to get from one to the other. If one is safety, can you barricade it? And when you think about it on paper, it almost seems too simplistic. It's not going to work. Like, how much can you fucking do? And there is a portion of the movie where it's not on the train. Yes, obviously they have to get to the train, and then they have to improvise, let's say, to get on another train potentially. And there are those moments, but the setups, the heartfelt emotions, the little bit of humor and bravado from the characters, the mistakes, the asshole on the train, the fucking calamities that come one after the other. You don't want to lose anybody in this movie. Even some stupid, I only say stupid because it's just silly, side characters. You're like, fuck. This is one fucking lady, older lady. I'm not going to give it away, but you just wonder how much of these performances were like spot on from the first take. It's got that feeling of, you know, everything coming together in a certain way where it's rare, really, really rare. And atmosphere, the way they build it up, the way they, you know, draw out certain sections and give you a slight little twist on things. But really, you're on a train. The whole plot's there. The father's taking his daughter to his mom in a different state, let's say, going to Busan. You know, you're on a train. It's a tube with fucking compartments, and there's nowhere to go. Even if you were thinking like, oh, well, you know what? Maybe you could think about it the other way too, like in mass. Well, how will they attack you? Well, they kind of show what the fuck they do, and it's pretty fucking gruesome and terrifying. They will get you in group, but again, yeah, you can see it both ways. It's tight, you know. It's a good place to hold them off type idea, and I think that's portrayed in the movie well. And of course you've got the human side, right? You know, who's betraying who, the scumbag. I want to survive. I want to fucking live. I'm not letting these fucking assholes into this compartment. We're safe. That, you know, that type thing. How fast is this thing spreading? And the way they get infected, the body movements, the contortions, you know, hire a bunch of fucking dancers, like whatever, that just makes it look fucking amazing. The special effect makeup is terrifying. It's got enough gore, but not silly. I don't know, everything. I guess what I'm getting to is when you have a great story, great actors and stuff, you forgive and you don't notice maybe little things that maybe a critic would come on and tell you like, which is legit, and it just goes by me. And maybe with time, and now I have watched this movie over a dozen fucking times at least, and where you can see it lacks this or lacks that, but as a whole, if you're just a fan or were a fan, that's another thing I said in the beginning. There are times where I understand, for me, for friends, anybody in the fucking world, get tired of things like, but I'd like at least, in my opinion, an honest balance. Like, it's one thing to say, oh, I'm sick of superhero movies, and it's another thing to say that they all suck and just shit on them for no reason, when they're really good movies or decent movie, entertaining movies that give the fans what they want. But when you don't want to watch a certain thing, but it's recommended, you give it time. This is a movie to watch. You want to watch a rage virus zombie, could be the end of the world. And this is the start of it. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if in the future there are prequels, but you basically see the start of it. Even if it was, let's say, formed in a lab somewhere and the truck crashed and the chemicals spilled out, you would see that part in this, but you wouldn't see the making of it. But you're at the beginning of this outbreak. You're going along with this father and daughter, the cast of characters that they meet on the train, the, however you want to call it, the commentary on the world as it is, and, you know, dog eat dog, and survival of the fittest. I got a daughter to protect. You might have a wife to protect who's got a fucking unborn child. She's pregnant. Like, how far are you gonna go? This movie handles it all again with subtitles. Kudos to this fucking movie. Train to Busan, for me, almost it never gets old. Now, granted, yeah, if I'm in a house and someone says, "Oh, let's watch a movie," and it gives me three choices, maybe I won't watch it because I've watched it a fucking dozen times and 2 times recently. But for me, this movie doesn't get old. It it's hard, never wanes with me, and even though it could be maybe conceived and made better in certain aspects, if I want to give it that, fine. But wow, I am always impressed. I am always thrilled to watch this movie. And again, it gives enough of a new thing with the quality that maybe wouldn't be noticed. It's hard for me to even try to be honest about something that I don't really see in this movie, but I got to give credit where credit's due. There are people who are, way more skilled at this, and will find the things that maybe won't make sense. It doesn't mean that makes it a bad movie, and some of them are honest about that, which I respect. But I can't praise this movie enough. I put this up there with some of my favorites. Again, I don't want to watch zombie movies, even right now. And there are periods of time where I just wouldn't want to watch it. Now, again, I might have been a fan of The Walking Dead for like a season and a half, but already within the season and a half, my friends had dropped off. It was repetitive, and you knew where everything was going. And what held it up for me is superb acting and cast of characters, the chemistry. They did everything right. Up to about season 6, potentially, maybe. And from there, just garbage, in my opinion. I love the fact that Train to Busan can captivate you, give you 116 minutes of fucking an emotional roller coaster thrill ride. And I'm talking amazing choreography, setups, stunts, kills, attacks. Just phenomenal on so many levels. It's rare. You got to give praise. And I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, this movie's shit on by people." And, no, I think it, in my little thing before starting, when I go to my wiki or IMDb, it's got critical acclaim. It's got a couple of people, which, maybe they're your go-to reviewers and stuff. But I would recommend everybody just to watch Train to Busan. It's no, I don't know if it's short, but what is it, an hour and 41 minutes? It's got enough heart, enough story, characters, growth, enough social commentary, and but not beating you over the head. And if it is beating you over the head, it's for a good reason. And when you've got captivating actors and actresses and like an amazing child actor who, again, you don't have to have lines and lines of dialogue. And I guess in the movies, it's show, don't tell. Well, here's the same thing. You can see it in the father's eyes at certain moments, or the daughter, and even the cast of characters that they got set up for this. And there's one fan favorite, of course. He's like the superhero of the fucking movie. You gotta you gotta give him some credit here. I think it's Lee Dong Seok. God, is he fucking amazing in this movie? You cheer for him from the beginning to end. He's got some fucking moments that shine, and it shows the flaws of the father, the main character of the movie. Exposes that connection that he's doesn't have with his daughter, and how it develops here, and what you learn. Are you gonna close that door on these people trying to get to you just to save your daughter? Are you gonna let them in? You don't know who's infected. What about my pregnant wife? It's just really done well, and you can forgive so many mistakes by having a captivating cast, uh, a decent to great plot, screenwriting. You know, the writers, they got to get, um, from one place to another. So it has even that. You've got a time frame thing. There's a potential of, well, what if where you're going is infected? And what if there's nowhere left? And maybe that's in sequels and stuff. But it is a 2016 movie. I don't know of any sequels or prequels to this. And it could be just missing something. Maybe I'll look, but it's got a lot of fucking accolades, I'll tell you that much. Uh oh, okay, there's an animated prequel. Uh oh, and there's another movie, uh Peninsula. It's a standalone movie set in the same universe. It doesn't continue the story, but that's okay. Is this a remake in 2016? Uh, they're saying it was an American remake. I don't think it ever happened though. Oh yeah, they James Wan was gonna do a remake, an English version. That would have been interesting. The Last Train to New York. See, I'd get into that. I'd watch it. And James Wan's got talent. We know that. But we're talking about Train to Busan, a gem in the sea of shitty zombie movies. And you know what? It's not even just shitty zombie movies. It's mediocre to disappointment zombie movies too. So many movies, I say it sometimes, I don't think people set out to make bad movies, and there are instances where you're just trying to keep a fucking franchise or whatever, and you rush things out. I could see that. Um, but this whole genre in the zombie movies, they could be shitty, they could be mediocre, and there's lots and lots of them. And there are even more than that when you fucking do a deep dive. Train to Busan's got it all, in my opinion. We got subtitles. Again, if subtitles aren't your thing, I get it. Like, you just matter how good the movie is. You're not used to it. You just gotta watch this movie. Don't even read subtitles. I wouldn't even recommend that. That's how good the fucking movie is. Of course, I recommend reading the fucking subtitles, but you get it. It's just a movie that I recommend as much as I can. The flaws are minor. I can't even think of them. Like the scores, the moves, everything, the setups, the stunts, the premise, everything just falls in line for me. It works to the end. Pulling on your heartstrings, making you, adrenaline rush, cheering for the fucking superhero of the fucking movie. This guy picks up a fucking riot shield and he's going. It's just outrageous. And in all the good ways. A father and daughter relationship, the heartbreak, the cracks you see in the relationship right at the beginning of the movie. It just comes along and doesn't impede the story, the action, the thrills, and it's there as a core, which is how the foundation of a great movie is laid, in my opinion. You want to care about the characters, you want to be invested, you want to at least understand. And I'm not a parent, I'm not a father, but it's that good of an actor, that good of an actress. It's conveyed, and the people around on the train are just conveyed as idiot fucking baseball team, young kids, in a sense. I don't know about kids, they're not like children, but you can see they're young men and women, and the different, businessmen and the scumbags. It's all there. It's all setups where you're gonna see the flaws, you're gonna see the heroism like emerge from people, and just the I don't give a fuck attitude. Like, if my whole family died, I don't care. What, and especially your age too, right? This movie does it all on every level. I totally recommend it. It's a zombie movie, yes, but you want to put it in the raid zombie category if we're gonna do that. There's there's a heartfelt story that comes through in the whole movie. I don't think it's hampered by zaniness and blood or gore or the ferociousness and the scare factors, because a lot of times cause of movies, the underlying thing that's trying to draw you in, that you're trying to get connected to, is muddled by spectacle and explosions or special effects all over the place. It does hamper things, and I think people's brains are catching on, and we're changing as a society. One thing that comes to mind real quick, I'm watching like reaction things. I think I mentioned this on maybe my other podcast, but young people, I call them young people today, are surprised when they watch The Terminator, and the Terminator goes to a phone book in the street, on a street corner where there were payphones, opens the phone book, and you can find everybody's name and address and phone number right at your disposal. Anybody on any street corner. And yes, anybody could rip the page out, put it in their pocket, which I think Kyle Reese does. Terminator just probably scans it and memorizes it. But different age and different concepts. It is true, me being born in 71, I'm probably one of the last generations that was out in the street at certain hours and was, kind of unruly, if you want to give it that classification. But it's different now, and I think it impacts everything. It's going to impact the government, the industry, the entertainment, TV shows, we're all quick things. I love Netflix's release everything at once, but I understand the weekly to monthly episodic television, how it draws you in and carries you along. But in my brain, I think when I see those things, like if you drop Daredevil all at once, I'll do the one at a time at my own pace, right? So I think it's that type of mentality for me anyway. But we're talking about Train to Busan, how amazing I think it is, how it works on every level. Heartfelt, scary, the setups, the choreography, the stunts, the makeup, and what it's trying to convey in 116 minutes is done superbly. If it's a zombie movie you're not interested in, and fine, give it time. And if you do ever want to just watch something, you want to watch Train to Busan. And highly recommend this movie. Kudos to everybody in this, especially the young actress and the whole cast of characters. I totally recommend Train to Busan. It's one of my favorites now. I mean, but 2016. It's rare, and I think people should. Well, again, it's not an underrated movie in any sense, but I don't know if it's got the wide appeal. I'm surprised at how many people haven't seen it. I'm not saying that the people who have don't like it. They seem to love it. I guess I'm not really keeping score, but if I'm like, oh, we want to watch, and you've ever seen Train to Busan, I don't know if any of my friends have ever, well, maybe one. Okay. Anyway, I think I'll end that here. High praise, total recommendations. Train to Busan is one of my favorite zombie or raid zombie movies. It's got everything and more, in my opinion. So I hope everybody's doing well. I'll talk to you all next time. Take care.